I shared with you in a previous video 3 important questions when starting your book and how a client of mine used this over a decade ago to write a great book, sell hundreds of copies in the first few months, and speak at multiple events, all because he got clarity on what, why, and how. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can watch it here or find the link in the description. But in this video, I'm going to share the actual process of how to write the story so you can complete the first draft of your nonfiction book in under a week. This will work if you are a public speaker who wants to write a book on the topics of their talks, a pastor who wants to make a sermon series into a book, or even someone who endured a difficult experience and learned a life principle from it. If you're a person who likes content on how to write and sell excellent books, then like and subscribe to this channel. Remember the bell to be notified so you're certain to find out when I put up new videos, and so YouTube lets other aspiring writers know about this content. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of having clarity of the specific lessons, the specific reader, and why you are doing this book. You must keep this in mind at all times to maintain focus in your writing and to hold your reader. So now let's consider this example. You're writing your story of how you were able to become very successful after a major life challenge. Your specific story won't grab the reader no matter how compelling because they aren't living it. But how your story helps them will. When you are writing down your notes on what you want to share, you need to focus on a lesson that you learned or a series of lessons during a trial and as you became more successful. So the lessons that you had during difficult times, but also the successes you had as you were digging out of that. Or if it's not a specific trial and it's just about success, you need to write down those lessons that you got during success, the little pieces along the way. If you've ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, you're very familiar with this building one lesson upon another format. So each experience built on the past learning, typically you want these to be in chronological order, but the order can be changed in the interest of story or pacing, or if it just makes more sense doing it that way. It's clarity that's important and honesty. So consider poor choices or good ones that put you in a situation just before the tragedy, so leading up. This can be hard because we don't like to look bad, but an honest assessment of our mistake helps the reader a great deal and helps them to relate to the story as well. If everything was just a matter of circumstances, where is the useful lesson? Because you just become a victim of the circumstances in your life rather than an active participant of change in your life. Then share practical application the reader can use. Share a variety of stories showing mistakes and successes. Stories are interesting and keep the reader reading and also help them to relate better. The illustration, they can see it. All right. Once you've done this, it's time to start writing. Organize the questions, illustration, and other notes in order. You'll be recording yourself as you go through and read these answers. You can choose to have someone transcribe your questions and answers, or you can use some form of voice to text. Either way, organize your notes so you know where each chapter begins and ends, and set about starting your recordings. A full-length nonfiction book will take approximately 8 to 10 hours to record. Set aside time each day to record the questions out loud, followed by your answers. Record each chapter in its own recording or file, then begin your questions and answers. If you have any questions about that, put it down in the comments below. This technique I call vomiting on paper. It may seem to contradict what I said before, but actually it will free you up and prevent writer's block. You can revise to eloquence. For now, you're just trying to get the ideas on paper. Read the question and then share your answer naturally. Keep in mind those reasons and questions I keep talking about. That will help you to not ramble, but you'll fix much of what you miss in revision. For now, share the story like you're talking to an old friend. By deciding the points that you want to make and crafting strong questions, that will draw that information out, and you'll create a much more effective first draft. You'll find that book writing will be much more enjoyable than writing was when you were in school. And in this next video, I will show you how all of this will lead to a finished book in 30 days. I'll see you in that video.